今日また暑いよ。
Encouragement to you today if you've had some financial disappointments along the way. All right, let's head back to the phones. To Texas we go. Anita, thank you for your call today. How can I help you?
Hi, I like I told your caller, it's a little bit of a complication, and we're just second guessing what we've done, and I can actually get out of it if I need to. But anyway, what happened is my husband and I did all our, estate planning and everything like that. And basically what we did was we've had some issues with our children, so we jumped our children and we did 14 individual trusts for our 14 different grandchildren. So basically what that does is it leaves our children out of the picture. And to kind of fix that, we decided to do a insurance policy, and my husband couldn't qualify for it, so it's just on me. And it's about $30,000 a year, and we're just wondering if that was really a smart thing to do. We've got 70 on my side that's not, and so we're just thinking maybe if we do just gifts to them, the amount of gifts to our children per year that we can legally give to them without any tax implications, that would probably be a better investment than waiting for me to die. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I'm interested in perhaps you all thinking about the assets that God has given you and how you might divide those, through estate planning, whether that's a single trust where you have multiple beneficiaries or separate trusts, and that would ultimately be between you and the estate planning attorney to determine the how. But I don't know that I love the idea of you funding an expensive and increasingly expensive life insurance policy for this inheritance. What about just praying and thinking through how to take the assets God has given you and divide those according to his leading, and take all this money that you'd be putting into a life insurance policy and just continue to build your wealth with that?
Right. Well, we're retired, so we have X amount of money. Our financial planner tells us, knock on wood, it'll never run out. So that's not really an issue. But it's just we don't want to. The trust that we have do have an individual revocable trust right now, and then we have the split trust. If I die or my husband dies, whatever, we have that.
Sure.
And so, like, if he dies, it goes to me, and half of it goes to a revocable trust that I can still monitor, and you know what it is.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's fine, and that works. I just don't know about the necessarily having that, and it looks like we lost the caller. So what I would just say to you as we wrap up here is I don't know that it makes sense to fund that life insurance policy on your life. I understand your husband couldn't qualify. That's an expensive policy. That's a lot of money every year that could be put toward other things, given away, continue to build your assets and your wealth. And I would prefer that over you having this life insurance policy that's really pricey, and again, it's not needed, and you're purely using it as an inheritance. I would just look at the assets the Lord has given you and just prayerfully decide how he would have you allocate those, whether that's to charity or to heirs, both children and grandchildren. Thanks for your call today. We appreciate it. To Texas. Hi, David. Go right ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Thanks for taking my call, Rob.
Sure.
I scheduled to get a lump sum retirement check here in the next couple of weeks, and I was just curious as to maybe what would be the wisest thing to do. It's going to be around $60,000 or so.
Yeah, I would roll that over to an IRA, and then if you don't need the money, or even if you do need to start to draw a little bit off of it, I would invest it. What is your age, David, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 58.
Okay, so at 58, I would probably think about putting this in maybe 50-50 between bonds and stocks. And at 60,000, rather than using individual stocks and bonds, you'd probably want to use either mutual funds, which is like a basket of stocks and bonds, or ETFs, exchange traded funds, which can either be, based on various market indexes or otherwise. But the idea would be that you'd have some income, coming in off of these investments, investments. The bond portion will do well as interest rates fall next year. And the bond yields that are already elevated, you get to take advantage of that. And stocks will give you a growth component to this. And as you age, you could shift more over to the bond fixed income portion and away from stocks. In terms of, getting somebody to help you with this, unless there was other assets that need to be managed beyond the 60K, David, you're probably beneath what you would need for an investment advisor to take over management of this. But our friends at soundmindinvesting.org could help and give you some mutual fund suggestions. Typically what you would do is just open an IRA at one of the discount brokerages like Fidelity or Schwab, and then you'd roll that in, which means there's not a taxable event there until you start drawing it out, which you don't have to until you reach at least 75 for required minimums. You wouldn't create a taxable event, and then you could just redeploy it in some investments. How does that sound?
That's good information. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Bye, then.
All right, good deal. Thank you, David. We appreciate it. Again, soundmindinvesting.org is a great place to go if you'd like to learn more about it. Folks, we've gotten a lot of calls lately from folks looking for a mortgage provider, and they want one that shares their values. They just don't know where to turn. Let me mention, for those of you looking for a mortgage right now, either a refinance or a new purchase, visit with our friends at movementmortgage.com/faith. That's movement.com/faith. Incredible nationwide, God-fearing organization run by some believers, and they're making an incredible difference literally all over the globe through their generosity. Hey, thanks for being along with us today. I couldn't do this without my team. On phones today, Robert Youngblood, our engineer and producer, Devin Patrick, doing his amazing work and providing me with great research today, Mr. Jim Henry. Appreciate you being along with us. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and come back and join us tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
90.5 KTXG, Greenville, Dallas.
You remember I'd ask you a question and you'd take a second, process the question. You'd ask me a question, I'm like, boom. But then what would often happen is I'd have to come back and I'd have to say, hey, I don't know if I really actually felt that way in that moment.
Yeah. Mary the Addisons, weekday afternoons at 2 Central on American Family Radio.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association. American Family News, almost a year. A crane collapsed in Midtown Manhattan this morning, waking up alarmed residents in the area and stranding commuters. FDNY Deputy Commissioner Joe Pfeiffer provides more details about those injured in the collapse.
We have 4 injuries to civilians and two our firefighters. Minor injuries, one of our firefighters are having chest pains and being transported to the hospital.
Hunter Biden is in a Wilmington courtroom this morning as the judge weighs his plea deal on income tax and gun charges. Former federal prosecutor Andrew Cherkasky wonders why this has taken 5 years.
The idea of prosecuting is to do so quickly. There's a constitutional idea of a speedy trial. It's also statutory based. It's good practice. Anything to take this long is a real question. And we have to turn back to the election cycle in 2020. The investigation was put on pause for months and months. And now we're pushing up against the next election cycle. So these investigations that go on for so long, maybe it's a point of looking for the right people. Maybe it's a point of looking for the right timing. Any way you slice it and dice it, it doesn't feel like we got the answers in 5 years.
Will interest rates go up again? Hillary Barsky has a preview.
The central bank wraps up its 2-day policy meeting and will make an announcement on interest rates this afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. After taking what has been called a skip in June, the central bank is expected to raise interest rates for the 11th time since March of 2022, a quarter percentage point to a range of 5.25% and 5.5%, its highest level in 22 years. Most economists predict that the hike will be the last, though they caution cautioned that the rate, which affects many consumer and business loans, will likely stay at a peak until well into 2024. Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
The head of a Christian law firm says they are prepared to go to court to fight for a Massachusetts-based Christian school that is being unlawfully discriminated against by a public school system. Chad Groening has more.
The Greenfield Public Schools have refused to approve the application of the Providence Moldavian Baptist Church and its school Providence Christian Academy because of its religious mission to teach students using a Christian school curriculum. Matt Staver is founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, which has sent a letter accusing the Greenfield schools of violating the First Amendment and Massachusetts law, and is demanding that it approve the application and refrain from further discrimination by August 10th, 2023 to avoid further legal action.
They're taking this curriculum, which is accredited by a lot of different accrediting institutions, and it's been around for a long time. It's produced by Pensacola Christian College, and it's used a lot for homeschoolers. In fact, in Massachusetts, homeschoolers are able to use the ABECA program. So it should be a no-brainer that the school would not take issue with the ABECA program.
And yet Staver says the Greenfield school system has gone on record to denigrate ABECA, Christian teaching, Christian curriculum, and this Christian school.
And said that their kids in Massachusetts should have nothing to do with this kind of teaching is egregious. So we sent the demand letter demanding that they respond with full authorization of the school so they can operate effectively on September the 5th. If they don't, then we will litigate. This is an outrageous situation.
I'm Chad Groening.
Will there be a UPS strike? Hundreds of thousands of union workers will have the final say on whether a new agreement with UPS will be ratified. Colonel Scott reports.
Next week, the workers will start voting on whether to accept a 5-year agreement that Teamsters President Sean O'Brien described on Fox News as
$30 billion deal that will go in the pockets of all our members, both full-time and part-time.
UPS CEO Carol Tomei called the agreement a win-win-win that will keep the company competitive and continue to serve customers. The sides agreed to end the 2-tier wage system and add a paid holiday on Martin Luther King Day. Teamsters members will vote up or down from August 3rd through the 22nd. Colonel Scott, Fox News.
More news online at afn.net and download the AFN mobile app for your Apple or Android device. I'm Rusty Keeper.
Hi, this is Miki Addison. Join me, my husband Will, and our kids for AFA at the Ark. We'll also be joined by Wesley and Walker Wildman and their families as we host a mini conference at the Ark Encounter October 26th and 27th. AFA has reserved a block of rooms at the Marriott Cincinnati Airport Hotel, which will be available at a discounted price. Space is limited. Learn more and register at marriagefamilylife.net. And I hope to see you at the Ark.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildman, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Today is Wednesday, July the 26th, 2023. And I'm joined in studio by Ed Vitagliano. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Tim.
And Chris Woodward.
Good morning.
Just three of us, people. We got Abraham Hamilton III coming along next hour.
Yeah. Well, he'll be in with Steve Jordahl.
Is that the only guest? That's the only guest we have today, right?
That's correct.
So it's all on us, people.
We can do it, man.
We can do it.
I believe we can do it.
There's confidence. All right, so a lot to talk about today. By the way, did you get your AC fixed?
I did. Let me tell you, now for probably about a month, our 20-year-old unit was limping along, and we could rarely get it below 77 degrees during the day when it was hot. Yeah. And so we had a bunch of fans blowing because we were trying to get somebody to come out. And about a month ago was when everybody's was going out, and we couldn't get any. I had a couple that just didn't even return my calls.
You mean repairman?
Yeah.
AC repairman?
Yeah, they just didn't even return my calls. They were probably so swamped. But anyway, we got somebody, and Monday
I was home. My wife was babysitting the grandkids, so I was home all day, giving them the benefit of my expertise.
Were you looking over their shoulder?
I did it initially. I actually did. And I wanted to say something like, hey, aren't you supposed to remove the flacker switch?
No, don't do that. They'll leave.
But at some point I said, hey, I'll just let you guys get on with your work there. And they said, okay, thank you. But it is, air conditioning is a blessing from heaven. Amen. Just going to tell you.
So it's fixed?
It's fixed. We got a new unit.
What's it reading now when you left home?
It was 72 degrees.
And sunny.
And sunny. In fact, my wife, who tends to be, I don't know whether it's cold-natured or hot-natured.
Most people don't know. They get it confused.
She tends to think it's warmer than it is. That's just my wife. And so I told her, I said, we're going to have to come to an understanding. I'm not going to bed in sweats because it's freezing in here.
In the middle of the summer.
In the middle of the summer. My sweats are packed up. Better, worse, whatever. Yeah. So,
You're right about air conditioning being a blessing from heaven.
It is.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you.
Especially now, we got a national heat wave going on, don't we, Chris?
We do, yeah. It's been triple digits in some places for days, if not a few weeks. Actually, I was out on vacation last week, and we had discussed an idea to go to San Antonio, and we decided at the last minute not to go because they were having like 104, 105 degree weather in the late afternoon.
Yeah, that's not even the heat index.
It's very, very concerning. Of course, Hillary Clinton did tweet out yesterday that if you're unhappy with the hot weather, you should blame what she called MAGA Republicans because they've been the ones fighting
just MAGA
climate change.
Republicans? What about establishment?
Oh, she's fine with those because they usually side
with Republicans. What about liberal Republicans? Just MAGA Republicans are responsible for what?
She's saying, yes, that's what she said. The Center for American Progress put out an infographic. It's basically a fancy, flashy little image with all kinds of different sayings and whatnot on it. And it was all the different heat problems throughout the country. And Hillary basically said that it was because of MAGA Republicans that we're having this problem, and you should vote them out of office.
It's not about Leonardo DiCaprio or John Kerry flying around in private jets or anything like that.
The people, I've said it before and I'll say it again until the Lord returns, and then I don't have to worry about it. The people sounding the alarm about what they call man-made climate change are the ones contributing to the problem the most. Because they're
by their own definition.
Oh yeah, 98% of the people listening to the sound of my voice have nowhere near the carbon footprint of one Hillary Rodham Clinton. That's scientific fact.
Is she one? One Hillary. You said there's one Hillary Rodham Clinton?
Yes.
Just one.
Well, she's HRC.
I know what you meant. You know what? It's summertime, people.
It is, yeah.
And guess what we have?
Have you seen
hot weather?
Have you seen? Some people have been pointing this out. The maps that weather, like weather reports, or CNN or whatever, when they're discussing this. Have you seen this? How they have changed the maps so that now they're just using all these variations of red and orange and pink, all these alarming colors. Where just last year or the year before they would have some green mixed in. So they're trying to make the map look hotter, even though the temperatures are essentially the same.
That is why that's one reason why I've thought for a long time now that people are starting to go, well, maybe there is something to man's impact on the climate, because you've got nonstop news cycles now. You've got channels devoted solely to weather, and there are multiple channels now available that only do weather. And if that's all they talk about, or they can, we can cover something instantaneously now, almost. Right. So people are like, well, maybe there is something to wildfires, even though they've been breaking out forever.
You know what? Okay, I'm sitting here looking at the 10-day forecast for where I live.
Yeah.
Where we live. Here in Tupelo, Mississippi. And this isn't as hot as some people have experienced or are experiencing. But you know what? We got 98, 99, 99, 100. This is the upcoming days. Next Monday be 98. Next Tuesday 99. Next Wednesday 99. Then 100 and 100. Okay, so we got 10 days. 8 to 10 days of August weather.
That's when our
and you know what? Then it goes back down to 92 normal temperatures. I'm just saying these climate
these global warming activists, they're seizing on the moment, and then when things go back to normal, you won't hear from them again.
Right.
And you certainly won't hear from them when we have. Well, yeah, you will hear from them in January when we have snowmageddons.
Yeah, because that's climate change too, Tim.
Right, they'll be saying that.
You can't have it both ways.
Well, they are.
They try to.
Well, when your best friend runs the news cycle, they're not going to say anything contrary to what you're saying. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, may your air conditioning not go out, folks. That's what we hope for you and your family.
That's right.
This summer season. You're listening to today's issues, Ed. Something that hadn't gone out yet is our streaming service.
That's right.
Not affected by the heat wave.
That's right. If you want to watch the live stream of this program and a lot
we're
of
on
other,
fire.
We are on fire, and it is man-made. I got to say, this is man-made fire right here, folks.
I made fire.
You can watch not only the live stream for this radio program, but a lot of our others by going to our streaming platform. It is streaming.afa.net. Streaming.afa.net. Very easy to set up an account there and get access not only to the streaming of this program, but also a lot of our video content.